We watched part of a movie that was in Thai late last night. So we're working on a little bit of Thai. I like the idea that he can have the basics of many languages for understanding.
Now she said, I wanted you to play one of two things. She said, I can carry about half of them. Take half of them away. All right.
So we have to move in about 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. We still don't know where we're going to move to. There's a lot of services here in Sacramento to help. You know, it's a rapid rehousing program to move you from one place to another and make sure that you stay stable. So we've our court date was on Thursday. We didn't do it Friday. Today is Sunday. So tomorrow morning we're getting a hold of. I did do the online. I signed up immediately online as soon as I left the courthouse, but we didn't get a hold of the people as a follow-up. We kind of had some arguments about that. Samantha was sold a bike, but in order to do the bike, she has to do yard work for the people for 6 Fridays or something like that. Or 12 Fridays, something like that. I think it's 3 months. So she's in the middle of that. She set an alarm for 9 o'clock to do that while I was with him and taking care of some other stuff, but apparently her alarm was set for 9 p.m. And by the time I got a hold of them, it was already 4 o'clock, and they're actually 8 to 4 is when they're open. So we're dealing with that. I'll have it done tomorrow morning at 8:30, 9 o'clock. And know who I need to be calling and start, doing my calling to different places that rent, that kind of thing. I understand that there are some places that, like, there's a thing called Section 8, which there's 2 types of. One of them you apply for, and once every like 4 or 5 years, the list comes open. You apply for it, and they cover like 90 some odd % of rent in just about anywhere. The other is a shorter term program where you actually go to specific places that are on the list and can rent from them immediately. So we did the long-term application, or I did, last year. So that part's covered. I'm going to check in with them, see where we are, and I'm going to get that short list and work through that. One of the things that, again, part of the relief here is this area is bad. There's gunshots every night, which Joseph thinks are people's bicycle tires popping now, just like popcorn. And there are active thieves. 1 second. Joshua, get in your bed and lay down. Who steal constantly. We have 2 storage sheds out back that have been gone into, now that we're checking, every day for the last week. It's crazy. Our car was stolen, other stuff. It's become that kind of place. So, we really want to get out of here. There is a place that we're praying for, and it's about ownership. And we can't get there from here, but I believe that God is a God of provision and making a way. One of the things this has done is, like, we've owned businesses in the time that we've been together, and her attitude for the first few years of the business was, oh, I could go get another job. Well, now she's finding that because of her background, she can't. And so while we've been here, we've had a deal. I had a lot of antiques and other stuff. Like, you see the green chest over there, the trunk and stuff like that I've had. And the agreement has been that if she sold it online, she could get half of it. Well, she's got 200 things online right now, and she is busy. She is turning into the entrepreneur, which she was the opposite of. She would find a way to start an argument, start a fight, to create stresses during the middle of business before. Now she realizes this is what she has to do to live. So it's a whole lot more conducive to getting things done. Love her attitude today. She's got phones listed on hers and other stuff, so money's flowing like it should have been for the last few years. Now we can get into something that creates and provides. And we did ADT, and we also still have a DirecTV contract. If she brings that attitude to something like that, we'll make money every day and have a surplus to give to others, as the word says. So watching that happen, and that's cool. Excited about that. So our deal here with this house is that I basically had to let go, because I never got the title. So I have to let go of any claim, any rights to it. The property manager or owner is going to claim a salvage title on it, basically say that I abandoned it. So when I leave, every fixture, every improvement, everything that I've made, I'm going to sell. From the water purifier to the $140 larger faucet. I've got the big elbow hook faucet with the drop down sprayer. That's coming out. That's going to get sold. I've kept the boxes for a lot of stuff that I have. So we're doing good there. Joshua, get in your bed. I think he's catching a lot of the energy because he's been just really doing stuff. Get in your bed. Lay down. Stay. So again, you catch the light in his eyes. Things are good. Our truck is being fixed, and it is something that we could kind of live in, sleep in if we needed to for a while. We've got a bench seat in the back and that kind of thing. Hoping not to. We got an offer for a backyard to put a trailer in, and 2 days ago we found a trailer that was free, but the lady has since decided she wants $3,000 for it. Well, we're going to talk to her and see, what we have that she, can trade for business or trade to do it, or, she's firm on that price, and just keep searching. Myself, I've been thinking like a not a cargo van, but a larger van, actually a minivan. One of the things is, like we have the Instacart business, which we can do really well, but the truck costs too much gas. Our truck has a downrated, I think it's the LS7, it's the Corvette engine. So it passes everything on the road again, but a gas station, often. So I don't want to be driving that around too much for that kind of stuff. Great for moving furniture, pulling trailers, has the power. And we may put our shingle out for that, doing some more hauling and pulling work. What else? Yeah, the van. So if we have to sleep in something, that kind of thing, and for more light work. Again, we have a what do you call it? A Kickstarter page up, and I may put that link on here and ask y'all, will you help us support it? We were looking for about $2,000 more, $2,500, whatever, more to get a decent van. We figured $5,000, $4,000 would get us something that was really worth having, and we know that we can pull about $2,000 at least from the assets that we have, the stuff in the house. Let's see. Guess that's about it. I'm led to say again that I can't explain the load that's come off, the weight that's come off. I was sitting here waiting for this woman's attack. I didn't realize that I've been sitting here like fighting imaginations of police showing up or some other thing, or how she was going to, because she does. She when our truck was damaged, we had it at the front of our parking space, so we couldn't park the car in a parking space. I paid the neighbor at first $40 a month, and then we got it down to $20 a month to put our car in his driveway. She threatened him with eviction. Told him it was illegal. He couldn't park anybody else's cars there but his. Stuff like that. All we have is on the porch is Joseph's toys and a dog crate. And she would come over all the time and say, "You got to get everything off the porch." And the contract here, the agreement says that we can't have any non-outside furniture. That's all there is. But she'd just come over and pound on the door and get everything off the porch, that kind of thing. And just constant barrage of craziness. So I'm happy it's done. I'm really happy it's done. Got to go further is that I think the court clerk tried to help me and I didn't take it and I messed up. So apparently these people gave me a 3-day and then a 5-day notice. They never gave me a 30-day notice. And she mentioned that before going to the judge or getting the judge. And I get that I had the right to mention that and I could have had the whole thing thrown out and probably gone again and then gone back around for time. I guess I kind of wish I had more time, but I think that it's done. The lady here who is the manager, there's probably 30 families, a realtor, and some other people who are working together to build a lawsuit against her. They've gone to the owner and said, this she's got some mental issues. I think she's demonic. And they wanted her gone. They want her gone. So my prayer was if we had to go, she was out before us and couldn't work in California anymore. Just that was ended. So they're working on that. It's, don't touch the anointing. There's a cost for that. Let me get Joshua back to his bed. Get back in your bed. Lay down. Lay down. The bathtub in here is kind of, its supports are rotting. The deck has got so many places where it's rotting. The handrails around the deck has so many places where it's rotting. What they did was they painted over everything when they sold it to Karin. They didn't really fix stuff. Honestly, the wiring on the front of the house in the kitchen, the oven doesn't work. We had the refrigerator working off an extension cord coming from in here in the living room. So there's relief. We're going to sell a refrigerator. I've got a mini fridge in the bottom that I haven't used for a long time. We're going to sell that. Again, it's all here. We're going to sell the washer and dryer. We're taking a lot of hits, but we have enough volume that we can at least do a van and whatever's needed to help get into a place. There's an agency here in Sacramento that helps with move-in fees. So when we moved in here, they were supposed to give Karin $5,000. It was actually supposed to be a down payment. That agency ran out of money for that year. Well, they're back up and they have their money again. So I've already called them. I'm going to work with them. And they saw it as first, last for rental and stuff like that. Karin filled out the paperwork, but was going to accept it as the down payment. Actually, later on I found out this house is only worth $6,000. That's what she bought it for. So the $5,000 would have pretty much paid for our house and been done. So, yeah. Got stuff coming. Got stuff coming together. I don't want to do a lot of stuff. Here's a house. I have a thing that's called Aladdin. What it does is after I receive a phone call or make a phone call, it's a vision board. It shows pictures on my screen of the stuff that I'm praying for. And one of them is a house that backs up to water, has 6 acres. This is a nice place. And it's not in the middle of the thieves and all the other stuff. And I'm praying for it, visualizing it, whatever. I know it's hard. It started at over $450,000. It's under $390. Do I have the cash? No. But It's coming together. Doing DirecTV right or ADT right, we would have had the cash. We could still have the cash in less than 6 months. We could have all of our debts paid off and things good in less than 6 months, like that. Remember, DirecTV pay us $400 a piece. We were paying our agents a little over 100. So, what's that? A little over 100 of those. And I used to do 2 a day. Here's the other area where we can use prayer is that we are praying, or actually agreeing now. And I ask you to pray and then just agree. Just to praise Him daily for it. That we have 200 new continuous sales in each of our programs. So 200 phones per day. And that all of our agents get 200 phones per day. And we're adding agents right now every day. We'd actually like to add 200 agents per day. We each get 200 phones per day. 200 DirecTVs from the flyers and information that we put out. I've got ads for DirecTV and ADT that I've been doing for years. So that stuff is still online. Every now and then I still get a call. We'd like to see those go to 200 per day. We have a faithful friend who has been our mechanic, plumber, all kinds of other stuff. She was my manager here who worked under me for DirecTV. And my vision for her, my goal for her, she just wants to work in an office. She was trained. No, sit down. You're not wearing the underwear. She was trained for. Let me see. Hold on. She was trained to work in an office or to manage an office. Don't let me do it. What are you gonna do in there? This is the email account. No. This email is just for the tablet. It doesn't have anything in there. There's no music. You can't get to my music in there. So anyway, our prayer has been to have enough business that she can run an office of people, taking calls or whatever, processing orders for DirecTV. Can I push it? There. Processing orders for DirecTV and whatever other business. I'm ready for that. I'm at that place where I'm ready to build enough that we have to put somebody that we trust, and I really trust this woman, to in place to handle and take care of business. When we got here, we looked at little offices and kiosks and stuff like that. I'd like to do that with her. So there's that. What else? What comes to mind is the mall near my parents' house. I went and did all of the research and stuff to rent a kiosk, and the lady who is the mall manager would not rent to us because I don't have a business license for that business. But there is no license for it. The city doesn't do a license, state doesn't do a license. There's no license needed to be a phone distributor. You just pay taxes. It's part of your regular tax. You're a sole proprietor. I went down and checked with the city and with the county, and they actually don't do a business license for that here. It's just, it's not one of those things where it's needed. So she wouldn't rent us the kiosk. So if you'd agree for favor for things to open up so we can put a kiosk there and have have a little staff, have a couple of people, 3 or 4 high school girls, whatever, people who need work there. No, sit down. You got to sit down. Your butts. Sit down. Sit you down. It's not funny. Let me fix this. They're making their money, doing sales. It's right in front of a grocery store, so it can really produce. Joshua, lay down. Joseph, it's not funny. Okay. That's a check-in, I guess. You use the prayer in these areas and just agreement. If you don't know how to pray agreement, maybe Google that, praying agreement, and being with us on this. It's time to give some people some jobs, and it's time to do some growing. When I left here, my vision was to do whatever was needed to make money so that we could come back and do phone rooms and give jobs. There's this old bank building on the end of Del Paso Boulevard in the Heights where I'm from. Used to be a Bank of America when I was a kid, but it was just the right size to put in a phone center, a call center, where people in the area could get jobs. And I still want to do that. That's still part of me. I'd like to do that in a lot of places. Now I'm going to go to like the expansive part. So if you can't agree, maybe stopping here. This is I need you to sit down on your butt now. Thank you. Here, trains. Sit down. Here you go. Tablet. So I found out about it's called, what is it? It was part of Oral Roberts University Hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He built 3 high-rise structures that were supposed to be a teaching hospital. Let me turn that down a little bit. I'm yelling over. No. Thank you. No hands. Not me. It's supposed to be a teaching hospital there. And what people don't know, and somebody, I think it was Kenneth Copeland mentioned it, he was there during that time. It was that period where Oral Roberts was asking for the $8 million. And somebody lied and said he would die if he didn't get it. It's not what he said. But the $8 million was to pay for the tuition and educational bills of this small group of doctors so that they could run, manage, and work in the hospital and spread that to missions throughout the world. So I've been kind of being drawn to this building and this stuff for a while. And the idea of putting a teaching hospital there that does that, which, like the Mercy Ships program, but projects even like